Hello and welcome. This is an instructional video intended to help teach instrument students in training to fly VOR approaches. The approach we'll be flying today is the VOR Runway 21 approach to Muncie, Indiana. Our approach frequency for the VOR is 114.4. We have active in number 1 and standby in number 2. We have 108.5 standby in 1 and active in 2 to help us identify the Dunkie intersection, which will get us lower minimums for this approach. Our final approach course is 201 degrees magnetic, but we won't be putting that in until after we've completed a procedure turn. For now, we're going to use the number 1 indicator to proceed direct to the Muncie VOR. And once we cross the VOR, we'll proceed outbound on the 021 radial. We're currently a few miles southwest of the VOR. We'll proceed in at 3,000 feet. If cleared for the approach, we can go down as low as 2,600 feet. On crossing that VOR, we can descend down to 2,500 and proceed outbound on the course, past the Dunkie intersection where we could begin our procedure turn. Once we get that number 2 wheel centered, we'll make a left-hand turn to 336 degrees, fly outbound for a minute, make a right-hand turn to 156, and then get centered on our course back inbound again. After crossing the VOR, we can descend down to 2,500 feet until we are established back inbound. On the completion of that procedure turn, we can descend down to 1,500 feet until we cross the Dunkie intersection, identified by the radio 135 from the Marion VOR. Since we can identify that fix, we can descend down to 1,440. That'll be our MDA for this approach. MDA is minimum descent altitude. Should put us about 500 feet AGL. If we cross the VOR inbound again without having seen the runway environment, we'll have to go missed. We'll climb straight ahead to 2,200 feet, make a climbing left turn to 2,600, direct back to the Muncie VOR and hold. We would expect that to be a teardrop entry. Let's get started. We'll go ahead and maintain 3,000 feet until we cross the VOR, or again we can descend down to 2,600 feet. As we get very close to the VOR, we'll see the needle on the number 1 indicator slew off to the side, and we'll get our to from flip, indicating that we've crossed over the VOR. Or we'll make our left-hand turn to our outbound course of 021 and track that outbound past the Dunkie intersection. There's the slewing and the to from flip. And we start to see the course on the opposite side. Make a little bit of a left-hand turn to a heading of 021 to start tracking that course. But of course we shouldn't forget to change the radial. Now we'll begin our descent down to 2,500 feet, and we're watching our number 2 indicator to tell us once we've crossed the Dunkie intersection. See our number 2 needle has been slowly coming towards center, and on the map on the right you can see that we are approaching the Donkey intersection. I'm going to wait for that needle to center. In a second here you'll see me start to prepare the clock to get ready for that procedure turn. With the needle centered, I'll go ahead and begin my procedure turn. Notice I'll leave my heading bug where it's at and just put it to the 45-degree right-hand hash mark, which will put me on the course for the procedure turn. We're looking for 1 minute on the clock, and then we'll start a right-hand 180-degree turn in order to get intercept the course inbound. Make a slight heading adjustment to my directional gyro. Seems to have come off of my compass just a little bit. And since I'm not using my number 1 indicator, I'll go ahead and set it now to the inbound course, so I'll be ready for the intercept and to avoid any kind of reverse sensing with the indicator. I'll set my heading bug to my inbound course, and I'll use my 45-degree reference points on the indicator as an aid to help me know what heading to fly. With 1 minute on the clock, I'll go ahead and make my right 180-degree turn to a heading of 156 so that I can begin to rejoin my course. It's important to note with any procedure turn that you're going to be getting further away from the course in the outbound, but you'll also be closer to the course when you begin your turn inbound. So although it took a minute to fly away from the course, you shouldn't expect it to take a full minute to get re-established inbound. That should just about complete the procedure turn. You can see that the number 1 indicator is coming alive, approaching our course again. I'll roll out momentarily to allow myself to close on the course, wait for the needle to come in a little bit, and then complete my turn to get established on the course inbound. Now that I'm established inbound, I can begin my descent down to my minimum segment altitude for this part of the approach of 1,500 feet. And you can see that I got a little overzealous, turned my heading early, just still a few degrees off my course. So I'll turn back to the left to allow a little bit of an intercept angle. Very common error for new instrument students to keep on turning until they see movement on the needle. It's important to note again that you should never allow yourself to turn too far away from your course heading. That helps you to avoid chasing the needle or essentially making a bunch of S-turns across the course. Set yourself a predetermined intercept angle and hold that angle. Be patient, wait for the needle to center, and then thread the needle. Turn back onto your course after monitoring its closure rate. Now that my needle's centered, I'll start a right-hand turn back to my heading of 201 and track the course inbound. Watching the number 2 indicator, it's been slowly closing in as we reapproach the Donkey intersection. Once I cross that intersection, I can ascend down to my MDA of 1,440 feet and begin looking for my runway. Little late here, but I should set my flaps to 10 degrees. Try to achieve an airspeed of 90 knots for this airplane as I descend down, looking for about 800 feet per minute for non-precision approaches like this one. So we popped out of the clouds just a few hundred feet above the MDA. I'm going to maintain the course line until I get good visual confirmation that I have the runway environment in sight, and then I will maneuver the airplane to make a straight-in landing for the runway ahead. Passing on the left side's all red. It's 2 sets of red lights. Tells me I'm a little low on the approach path. I'm going to add a little power, get myself back onto the glide path, and then resume my descent. Making sure my airspeed's inside of the white arc, I'll go ahead and bring down the rest of my flaps to make the last part of the landing. This video is filmed with OBS Studio using X-Plane 11 with head tracking by TrackIR and is intended for instructional use. Thank you for watching.